Hey everyone, it's Lexie. So in today's video I'll be sharing with you all the books that I ended up purchasing in the month of February. I feel like February was the month for like new releases, and a lot of these that came out this month were on my most anticipated list. I think there's like maybe one or two coming out kind of in the last half, or like in the first half of 2021, so I won't be buying a lot more books in like this chunk of the year. But these were ones that I was super excited about, so and I've read most of them actually so far. So yeah, without further ado, let's get started. So starting out, I first have Beneath the Keep by Erika Johanson, and this is the prequel to the Queen of the Tearling trilogy, and it follows Maas as he eventually becomes a part of the Queen's Guard, and we also follow Kelsey's mother, Alyssa, kind of leading up to the events of Kelsey's birth. And I think if you are a fan of the original trilogy, I think you will like this. I know the series, the trilogy is very polarizing, but I think if you kind of like the politics of this world and want to know more about kind of the history of the Tearling and kind of get more background on these characters, then I think you will enjoy this. I think it does a really good job at kind of showcasing the different, like, I guess like the backgrounds of the characters and histories of them that we don't really get a lot of in the original trilogy, because their like character backgrounds aren't really necessary to ours, and there was a lot of answers that are questions that were answered in this one as well, so it was a lot of fun. So I was really excited about this one coming out because, again, rereading the trilogy made me re-fall in love with this world, and I heard that we're getting more books kind of in this kind of literary world as well, which is really exciting. But yeah, I was really excited for this, so if you guys are a fan of the Queen of the Tearling like trilogy, I think you will like the prequel. So this is one that I was probably the most excited about, and it was The Four Winds by Kristin Hannah, and I've been a huge Kristin Hannah fan for so long. I read her first book when I was in grade 12, so around 2011, 2012, and I've fallen in love with her works ever since, so I was really excited for when this one was coming out. I didn't even read the synopsis, I literally just like dove into it. But essentially the premise of this one, it follows this one girl named Elsa who is very much kind of ignored by her family. She is just told she's ugly and she's kind of left as an afterthought. So when she ends up making a mistake with this guy, she ends up having to marry him, and they kind of have to kind of start their life like not in kind of like a loveless marriage. And so it follows Elsa kind of raising her family during Great Depression era and also during the Dust Bowl as well. So this one I thought was a really interesting period in history as well, because I feel like a lot of books don't really cover a lot of like Depression era kind of aftermaths and people trying to survive. And I think a lot of Kristin Hannah books are, because they center around female stories and protagonists, are kind of classified as chick lit, but I feel like a lot of them, especially her most recent ones like The Nightingale's Great Alone, like this one in particular, they're about survival, and I learned so much about this time period, and I was just completely anxious throughout the whole thing. So yeah, Kristin Hannah does not disappoint, and of course there was a few times where I was just like crying, so what is a Kristin Hannah book without a few tears, right? And lastly, this is one that me and my friend have been waiting for like 3 years now, because we got like a little snippet of the first chapter back when like the last book, like novella, came out in like May 2018, so we were very excited for when this one was coming out, and we were literally counting down the days. And it is A Court of Silver Flames by Sarah J. Maas. This is like, I guess, the fourth book in the like ACOTAR series, I guess it is now, and this one follows specifically Nesta and Cassian and kind of their story. I'm about, I want to say like a third of the way through. Like, it is a very big book, and the cover is just ugly. I'm not like, me and my friend were just joking about how ugly this book is, and like even like the hardback of it is like a hunter orange, and it is just really gross. But the inside, I'm really enjoying it so far. So it follows kind of Nesta's kind of, especially after post-war, she's dealing with a lot of PTSD and like all those other things, so she's kind of dealing with her demons there, and she ends up getting sent to kind of Cassian, and like this is like their last straw. Like, you were gonna train with Cassian, you were gonna do all these things to try to get her back on track, but while this is all going on, even though they have like after the war they reach somewhat peace, there is kind of all these other political kind of maneuverings going on that are kind of leading to the possibility of war in the future. So they are kind of dealing with the kind of the politics of that as well. So yeah, this is a very big book. I was very excited. I drove through a snowstorm to get this book like first thing in the morning on Tuesday when it came out, because my friend wants, like, because I guess the Barnes and Nobles has its own like little chapter snippet from like a different perspective, and then my friend's getting the Books a Million version that has its own, so we like kind of will be able to know what happens in both editions. So that was kind of our scamming the system. But yeah, I drove through a snowstorm of like 3 feet of snow to get this book, and so far it has been worth it. I've been loving every kind of, I've just been really absorbing myself in the world, and like I know there's a lot of flaws with Sarah J Maas and her books, and like this is literally my guilty pleasure. I don't really watch a lot of reality TV, but this is like my equivalent of something like that. So that's it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments below what some of the books that you purchased this month were and all those fun things. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you guys next time. Bye, guys.